Next, we will discuss a question on perspective projection. The question is like this: a square lamina of 30 mm side rests on the ground with one of its sides touching the picture plane. The station point is 40 mm above the ground plane, 30 mm in front of the picture plane, and lies in a central plane 20 mm to the right of the center of the square. Draw the perspective view of the square by visual ray method. Okay. By the way, there are two different ways of drawing a perspective projection. One is the visual ray method, and the other one is vanishing point method. So let's see them by examples. When examples of each method is being done, then we will discuss more about the visual ray method as well as the vanishing point method. This example we are doing it using the visual ray method. In this case, the data given us, the data for a square lamina is given, that is 30 mm side. Now the station point is the point where the observer is standing or the spectator is standing, and the station point is 40 mm above the ground plane, that is the eye of the observer or the horizon plane or the horizon line is at a height of 40 mm above the ground plane. And then the second data is 30 mm in front of the picture plane. So the station point is 30 mm in front of the picture plane, 40 mm above the ground plane, and also it is lies in a central plane 20 mm to the right of the center of the square. So with these three data, that is 40, 30 and 20 mm, we can locate the position of the observer or the position of the station point perfectly with respect to the square lamina as well as the picture plane and the ground plane. So now let's see how this can be drawn. So in order to draw it, first we draw the picture plane and that then the top view of the object. So in this case there is a slight variation in drawing the top view. The top view is drawn above the medium level, that is above the front view of the object. So the top view should be drawn at the top of almost towards the top of your page wherever you are drawing this or creating this drawing. So this is the picture plane as well as this is the straight line representing the picture plane and the top view of the object. Actually what we are currently drawing is the top view of the entire arrangement of the things, the arrangement of the object, the picture plane, the horizon line, the station point, etc., etc. So now the picture plane is drawn, then the object, the top view of the object is drawn. The top view of the object is named ABCD. Now it is of 30 mm side. Then 20 mm towards the right of the center of the object lies the central plane. The central plane is the plane, the vertical plane or the plane which is perpendicular to both picture plane as well as the ground plane, a plane which is perpendicular to both the picture plane and the ground plane, and it is the plane on which the station point lies. So 20 mm towards the right we draw their line representing the central plane, and in this central plane lies our station point. So this is central plane CP. Now this line, the newly drawn line, this line represents the ground line. So it is the ground plane or the ground line. Then we draw the front view of the object. The front view of the object is only a straight line, so it is A dash, D dash, then B dash, C dash. The front view of the object is also drawn. Now we find out the station point in the top view. In the top view in front of the picture plane, 30 mm in front of the picture plane, we find the top view of the station point. Now the station point is 40 mm, not 10, 40 mm above the ground plane. So 40 mm above the ground plane, again we mark the front view of the station plane, station point. So the SP dash, SP is the top view of the station point and SP dash is the front view of the station point. So the front view of the station point is marked 40 mm above the ground plane. Now what we do is we draw the visual rays or the sight lines as we described earlier in the introduction. The sight lines or the visual rays from all the corners in the top view are drawn first. So from corner A, corner B, from corner A, D, then B, from corner C. All the four sight lines or the visual rays are drawn. Now in the front view also we draw the same visual rays. Since it is a straight line, the front view is a straight line, we have only two edges or only two corners, A dash D dash as well as B dash C dash. From A dash D dash we draw the front view of the visual ray. Then from the second point also we draw the front view of the visual ray. Now what we do is we name the point of intersection of the visual ray with the picture plane. So the point A as well as A1 will coincide. A1 is the point where the visual ray from A is intersecting with the picture plane. So it will be the same point. So A as well as A1. Then here is D1. So the visual ray or the sight line from D is intersecting the picture plane at a point D1. So this is drawn. Then B1 is the same point as B. Then C1 is also marked. Then from the point A1 we draw the vertical line. It is already there. There is a vertical line is already there. And when it intersects the corresponding visual ray in the front view, that is visual ray from the A dash. Visual ray from A dash is this line. So when it intersects with that particular line, that point is marked as capital A. Now in order to mark the capital D, from D1 we draw the vertical line, from D1 we draw the vertical line, and when it intersects with the visual ray from point D or point D dash in the front view, we mark it as capital D. So this is marked as capital D. Now likewise we mark the point B as well as point C. Now what we have to do is we have to join the points A, B, C and D. This is our perspective drawing. This A, B, C, D in capital letters. It is the perspective drawing. And that's all. Thank you.